Blessed love family, give thanks for your presence. We glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Just getting ready to blaze the double barrel shotgun here. Yeah, man, it's Makachi, double barrel. Oh yeah, that's what's going on for Chalice Talk. This is Chalice Talk, and yes, we're going into the depths of astronomy and Rastafari and the 10th of December and exactly what it's all about. And I'm going to show you with clarity what's going on when we say that it's the rising of Orion and of course the setting of the serpent holder. So we're going to go deep, but of course you know what Chalice Talk is all about. If you don't know and this is the first time you're coming in, well, just take the time to, you know, relax with us as we take you on another level. And of course, being the 10th of December, remember the DVD documentary, the video documentary, The Night of the Black Tiger. Today is actually the final day for the special, you know. Remember, we had a special on this, The Night of the Black Tiger. If you were to take purchase a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger before the 10th of December, you would have received a whole month's worth of the Tiger's Nest radio program, or vice versa, whichever way you do it. You know, if you take a month's worth of the Tiger's Nest radio program, you would have received the free copy of The Night of the Black Tiger, the Divinity of Marcus, Mosiah, Garvey. And that special came to an end. Well, really, it's supposed to be today, the 10th of December. But if you're watching this video, even if you watch the video on the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th, and you contact us and say, hey, man, I may have been a bit behind, but I saw it on the video for the 10th of December. Yeah, I would still like a copy of The Night of the Black Tiger, and I would still like that 3 months of the Tiger's Nest. Don't worry, family. We would make sure we take care of you. Remember the Tiger's Nest, and the months of the Shock of the Hour, the month's worth package of the Shock of the Hour, both just $20. So whichever one you purchase, you get the other one. You check the mystic, yeah, free of cost. All right, so you don't know how it go. We're gonna take a look at the Night of the Black Tiger. At least I'm gonna check it from the beginning. And of course, we're gonna blaze up the chalwa. So give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. Give thanks for the 10th of December. Give thanks for the feast of the Passover. King Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. That's a love. Double barrel, eh? All right.
The red, the black, and the green around me, for in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing. Look for me in a whirlwind or a storm. Look for me all around you, for with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa. So aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and right. Africa with 400 Can we do it? We can do it. We shall do it.
A people robbed and spoiled, robbed of language, name, identity. The civilizers of the worlds and the cultivators of cultures has become the scorn and the downtrodden. The builders and the designers of megalithic monuments, aligning with the movements of the constellations, the astronomical clock. A people whose beginning is not known. Hundreds of thousands, millions of years into the past, attributed to their existence, but they were here before that. The melanated man and woman of the planet, black people, Africans, the ancient Ethiopian, the biblical Israelites, are the fathers and mothers of all other peoples. And because of such, they are considered, rightly so, the gods and goddesses of the earth. A people robbed and spoiled, taken into captivity from the land of their origin, and brought into different parts of the Western world as prisoners of war. Some refer to them as slaves, brought to servitude and serfdom. The original man, kidnapping and murder, rape and plunder, colonialization and sufferation, exploitation, apartheid, robbing and raping, murder and mayhem from the white men and the Arab clan.
Slavery, taking the black people into another land in ships, captivity. They were shackled and chained by their feet and by their wrists, and sometimes pulled by their neck.
Millions were kidnapped from the motherland. Millions perished in the Atlantic Ocean. Millions went to the Western world. We resisted the enemy from every angle. Rebellion in El Kebalan, rebellion in the Western land, rebellion in Antigua, rebellion in St. Thomas. In Haiti we stood strong, Dessalines and Bookman, Toussaint. We destroyed Napoleon, and Spain and the British had to run. Sister Harriet Tubman and others secured our passage to a better life. Brother Nat Turner, Prince Class, Denmark VC, the Maroons in Jamaica, the Maroons in the Caribbean. We never gave up the fight. We never gave up resistance. We never ceased in rebellion to the hands of the wicked enslaver. Across the seas, Shaka and Nzinga and Ma Asantewa, Queen Nyabingi, and many others stood strong to fight against the pale face that was invading our territory and splitting our family apart. By the mid-1800s, The results of the harsh brutality upon our people was now very visible as generations have passed since the Africans were unwillingly plucked from their motherland. Third and fourth generations of quote-unquote slaves have become house Negroes, have become field hands, and many have lost an identity of themselves. We now spoke the language of our kidnapper. We now worshipped the God of our enslaver. We now carried the name of our new master. Our people robbed and spoiled. So the 1st of August, 1834, in the island of Antigua, the slaves are released. The shackles and the chains come off of the hands, the feet, and the neck. 4 years after, in the rest of the Caribbean, the same thing takes place. In the 1860s, in the United States of America, the Emancipation Proclamation is signed, and it is Abraham Lincoln that is credited for releasing the slaves in that region. But I do dare say, they were not slaves prior to this. They were prisoners of war. But now that the shackles and chains are gone from the hand, feet, and neck, there were shackles and chains remaining on the brain. And now a brand new slave has been created, a one that you do not have to shackle with chains anymore, for he's totally dedicated to his master. A people robbed and spoiled.
Because if Negroes are created in God's image and Negroes are black, then God must in some sense be black.
Marcus Garvey, he had a great influence on people like Malcolm X and Kwame Nkrumah, which is the president of Ghana. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah read a book of Marcus Garvey already, and ideas of socialism became appealing to him. He was very much inspired by him.
What makes Marcus Mosiah Garvey so outstanding is that where many have tried prior to him to break the shackles and chains off of the mind of the people, no one has come and has done such a thorough job of waking up the black nation internationally like Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Over. Definitely give thanks to the mighty prophet. Yes, just about 10 minutes into that presentation there. Family, that is the night of the Black Tiger. That's just about 10 minutes of it. It's definitely about an hour and 15 minutes long, you know. Deep documentation, as you could see, using all the credits myself, the Honorable Prince and the Honorable Princess on it, you know. So for sure, if you do not have a copy of that, being the night of the Black Tiger, let me make sure my mic is on here. Oh, yeah, being the night of the Black Tiger, the divinity of Marcus Mosiah Garvey is a very simple thing to do. It is an e-documentary. All you have to do is to contact us via the email. And of course, the information is in the link. The link for the information is in the description below for the website. You could also order it directly through the website, The Night of the Black Tiger. And of course, the website is Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And you can, no, that's the email, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. But the website is basically the same. It is Priest Isaac Institute and you could definitely get remember, today is really supposed to be the sealing day for the special we had on the night of the Black Tiger, because today is 10th of December. It's a special day, celebration day. We're going to get into that right now. But we were saying to you that if you ordered the night of the Black Tiger, that's what you were watching there a moment ago. Before the end of today, the 10th of December, you would get a whole month's worth of the shock of the hour. So the shock of the hour, the Tiger's Nest, yes, radio program. So if anyone ordered the Tiger's Nest radio program, by right, you should receive a Night of the Black Tiger documentary. All right. Now, as I said, it's the 10th of December. Oh, since this is up, let me just remind you, of course, again, remember the 22nd day of December. By now, everyone should have heard about this and preparing themselves for fairy tale folly days and nursery crime. The Firing Squad edition. That's Wednesday, the 22nd, 2021. That will be an online lecture. Myself, the Honorable Prince, and the Honorable Princess will be conducting that one. And then the night after, we will be having another dynamic event, a dynamic lecture. This one will be the Santa Claus Massacre. This is the total annihilation. And I myself personally will be handling that one. Another online lecture for you. And that's Thursday, the 23rd of December. And then on the Sunday, the 26th of December, we will be doing Haile Selassie, Rastafari, and Freemasonry. And of course, that will be Sunday, the 26th. Yes, that is the so-called Boxing Day. But we'll be definitely doing some boxing, no technical knockouts here. You know what I mean? This is knockout. Yes, and of course, although each lecture will be only $20, I mean, imagine that. Yet still, if you decide to come to all three, there may be those who, hey, listen, I don't want to hear this subject or that subject and think they heard it before. Trust me, everything here brand new, fresh, and we don't. I mean, this is a paid online lecture. What you think going on is the best feet we put forward here, not foot. Both feet put forward here for the betterment. Is jump and leap, we leap. So definitely, family, look forward to an upful presentation or 3 upful presentations. If you take all 3 lectures, it's only $50. And it's the same time when they're celebrating the Yuletide season and the Christmas weekend and the Christmas holiday and all the running up and down and scattering and shattering and all of these different things that will be taking place. We will be definitely on the front line doing what we're doing. So in all the hustle and bustle, family, you could definitely be with us. All right. So what are we talking about here? We are getting into so today is the 10th of December, family. And remember, this is Chalice Talk. So this is not for anybody to be huffing and puffing and saying, oh, well, get the point and all of them kind of things. No, this is a different vibration altogether. This is for those who definitely want to gain some inspiration. So we are on Chalice Talk here. Now, the 10th of December, again, today is actually on the astronomical level, which is really what I'm going to get into, the rising of the constellation of Orion. Now, how this happens is that when the sun is setting, the same time the sun is going down in the western horizon, you actually see the shield of Orion coming over the eastern horizon. So what we're looking at here, of course, is the astronomical chart. And this is dated today, being the 10th of December, 2021. And let me just show you, this is stellarium now. And what we have done, we have removed the landscape. So you are looking at the horizon here. You see south and you see west. But when we put back the landscape, for example, bam, you notice the sun would have disappeared, because in this rendition and the timing, the sun has already set. So that's about a little, few minutes before 6 o'clock. So if we repeat it there, or if we go back a bit, okay, let me just put it on time. Now this is just before the setting of the sun. So you see the sun just above the western horizon, and the sun will be going down maybe in about 45 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes. All right, so family, let's just get familiar here. Please bear with me, or tiger with me, I should say. Again, you have to comprehend at least the basics of what I'm talking about here, so we can delve into the depths of what I would like to say to you. So you have the serpent holder here. You see, that's the serpent holder. That's the serpent holder constellation. This is where the sun was when they had the eclipse about 7 days ago, but the sun was more, just a bit more to this side. But as you see, the sun is moving, coming out of the serpent holder, and in about 10 to 15 days, it will be more feeding off of the energy of Sagittarius. That's the sun as it moves towards Sagittarius, around December going into January there. Good. So the sun now, at this point, is in the serpent holder more so than even in the constellation of Scorpion. As Scorpion, if you check the angle, the sun is right under the right leg of what is known as Ophiuchus, which is the serpent holder. So what is so outstanding about the serpent holder? Well, in a moment, we will get to that. Let us look now at the eastern horizon. And you will notice at the eastern horizon, well, here's the landscape again. Let us take the landscape out so you could see what is happening, in a sense, underneath the earth. So here you have the constellation of Orion, which we have as Sahu. Yes, this fella here, this may be Orion, because this is the Greco-Roman rendition of the Orion fella there. And he's a fella with a club, real caveman, and he has a dead, like a puma or some mountain lion here on his hand. But that is not what the ancients saw Sahu as. In fact, if you just look at the constellation itself, Sahu, the way that it is really formulated, the king Sahu, also known as Orion, the constellation of Orion, look at him here, that's his head. These are his shoulders, that's Orion's belt, and these are his feet. And this is his left arm stretched out, and this is his shield. See it here, that's his shield. If you see this in the night, it's just as beautiful as what you're looking at here. That's his shield, very, very large, and very clear constellation. That's his shield. And the thing about the shield now, if you notice, it's not an animal hanging on his arm. You could see the bow-like, like the protection. And to prove it's a shield, he has his sword now. All right. Now, what I'm saying is that this constellation stands out, the Orion constellation, because the equator, the celestial equator, actually runs through the Orion's belt. That is very, very interesting, because what it shows you now is the depths of it. If you look at it 0 degrees, you could see the equators. This is the celestial equator, and it actually cuts Orion into 2 parts. That is why we say Orion is the ruler of the northern heavens and still the ruler of the southern heavens. Orion is not an ecliptic belt constellation, if you follow me. And I'm sure you all know what an ecliptic belt constellation is. That's the constellation where the sun travels through. So the sun doesn't really travel through the constellation of Sahu, also known as Orion, again, but it will travel through Gemini, which is just above Sahu or Orion. Good family. Now, what I'm saying here, let us get these lines out of the way and continue the story with understanding. So when you observe this now, I'm showing you that in the evening time, on the 10th of December, as the sun is setting, I just want you to get the academics properly. Here it is. As the sun is setting, let us take our time and do this. As you see the sun going down, okay, bam, you see it hits there. That is the horizon there. The sun is on the horizon. The sun has just set or is setting. You see it behind in the background, shining because it's going down. All right, very good. We remove the earth again. When we go around now, I'm showing you this, so we could comprehend what it is we are speaking of. You know, when we speak of the 10th of December, pardon me, according to astronomy, this is astronomy speaking, you know, not really a philosophy. This is astronomy. It's considered the day of the rising of Orion. So it looks now as if Orion is like maybe even under the earth, as if you see how it disappears, as if it's like under the earth. But in a few moments, it will be coming out of from under the earth. Here we go again. So you observe the Orion constellation, which we again refer to as Sahu. And when the sun is setting, you see it rising there, as the sun is setting on the other side, as the sun disappears, then you could see Sahu just touching the horizon there. Sahu begins to appear. See his shield just busting out of the earth there. You know, see his shield coming up with him. See the shield busting out while he is rising. Right. So Sahu will be coming up in the same way you're looking at it there, the very same time that the sun will be going down in the Western hemisphere. See the sun setting and disappearing here with the serpent holder at the same time the Orion or the Sahu constellation will be rising. And that is specifically today, the 10th of December, the setting of the sun. Now, that is astronomy. So instead of us just saying it as we always say it, at least now you have a better idea as you're looking at it. And as I said, the alignment with even when in Suma it talks about the 10th of that month too. You have the rising of the shepherd of Anu and the twins. See the twins coming up behind? That's Gemini, the twins. All right, so all of this is the spectacle of this evening. So about midnight also, you would see Sahu or Orion in the middle of the sky, just above you in perfection. Now follow me, family. So what does this have to do with Rastafari and Bobo Shanti? Keep in mind that today is also Human Rights Day, or the Declaration of Human Rights, specifically Article 1 to 30, which is also a very important aspect of King Emmanuel order and the Bobo Shanti order as well. So we're looking at many different things, many different vibrations. So the feast of the Passover is connected to all of these things. So what is the feast of the Passover? What are you really talking about? Now, in 1993, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards had a feast. And let me be clear before we go too far, I was not there. I would have to give you the source of everything I say, because I'm giving you researched information, not firsthand, secondhand information. So everything that I'm saying and will be saying is what has been told to me, not necessarily by one individual, but by several individuals over a period of time, decade plus, of not just hearing, but of purposeful, if that's the right grammar, research and investigation on my part. So what I receive as information, what not only recorded, but archived. And that is why we drop it from time to time. I will not necessarily give no direct source right now. The most I will say is that everything I'm saying is from the elders who were there, who would have witnessed what I'm going to say. And of course, if push comes to shove, I could say exactly who say what. But for sure, even what I'm going to say is things I've said before, maybe in different fragments on other programs. And at times I would have mentioned who would have said what. But for whatever reason, at this time, and you know, for whatever reason, some of you, we prefer to just give you the information as we know it. So a feast was held in 1993, and the Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, this is at Bobo Shanti Hill now, the Honorable King sent out letters, you know, to different pockets where Ionized Bobo Shanti was. And from what was told to me, you know, the word was, and this is not, again, this is from several ones, so you can actually verify things, because, you know, it's not one man and two man and three man. You may get a slightly different version, but you can see, well, yeah, this is what was going on for true. So the word was that the Black Christ was asking ones to visit the foundation, Bobo Shanti Hill, for he was going to have a feast, and he was going to make a move, real thing. And by all accounts, no one really understood what was meant when he said that he was going to make a move. Because in the thought pattern that most would have had, with God amongst them, number one, God can't die. God not going nowhere, leave nobody, etc., etc., etc. So that's not even a thought. Nobody expect nothing. Let's just be straight, eh? People don't like talk about them things. And every time I talk about these kind of things, somebody always has something to say, when I know I'm not lying. Ones were not prepared for anything as it relates to Honorable King Emmanuel, even though ones could obviously see there's certain aspect of the king that, if you want to say ailing, you know, even the hip ailment that the king had, you know, man amongst us, eh? Man, nobody looking for nothing to happen. So when he say he gonna make a move, maybe gonna catch a play, I don't know what we're talking about, but he said no, the word. So this feast was called up for the 10th of December. And, you know, one elder who I did an interview with said to I, and this is an elder that sit with the man in them last days, an elder who's still strong up to this day within the order. And the elder said King Emmanuel send them to a faraway part of Jamaica, place enough man never even go, to make some purchases and buy some cocks. Rooster I talking about. I hear this, no man, just hear me. And it is said, this is what the Honorable Priest show, that when the brethren them went, it was a woman that sell them the cocks. And the woman asked them, when they make the purchase, whatever it is King Emmanuel tell them, when they make the purchase, the woman asked them, so who is it that is going to die? I mean, I ain't gonna come here and make up no story for you. So the feast went out. There are many different aspects of the feast. But the thing is now, what I want to harp on more than just the feast, because we can go into that. And again, we have gone into this, we've gone into the feast, and everything I just said, I know I've spoken of it before in a bit more detail. I've even said who it was that said it. So it's not a bit kind of someone, boy, tell us who says it now. We don't go through that. That's well documented. Some of them documentaries we did here on YouTube, like Where is Prince Emmanuel Now, and the crucifixion and the resurrection of Prince Emmanuel. Go and watch those again. You get it deep. But I want to branch off to the astronomical aspect and show the balance. That's really where I want to go. So the feast went out the 10th of December. And many ones partook. And I understand it's one of the biggest celebrations where enough people from, you know, outside came in and went into, it was a Friday that just like today. and it went into the Saturday as well. So in 1994, now the year after, on the 31st day of May, the day which some people say is the birthday of the Honorable King Emmanuel. Now, of course, there are Bubba Shanti that totally disagree with that. They're not with that at all, because what they're showing you is that, you know, they never see King Emmanuel celebrate no Earth Day. In fact, some would say that the 7th of January, Chumanda celebrate Christmas, and he's the Christ that they know. That must be his Earth Day. And then they have a next set will tell you, well, you know what I mean, the king never born. Eh? Yeah, man, they still have them man that exist. That will tell you, well, the king never really born and the king ever there. And you go through all sorts of different ways of looking at it. But those of us who think right-mindedly, I think we've come to that conclusion that the man is a man that born out of the womb of a woman, and give thanks to the womb that he come from and the lines that he come from, whether you know who it is or not, but give thanks to them. So we know he's a natural man, you know, Scooby-Doo business we defending here, you know. So and they got to be a date to when the man come out of the womb, you know. So some people have done their research and have stamped the 31st of May. And if that is so, that means from 1914 to 1994. So the 31st of May, 1994 is when Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, according to the reports that we have received, because I wasn't there, would have rested his structure. I like to say that, I know why. Would have rested his structure. And that would have been exactly 80 years to the day. Because the 80 years of high vibes, you know, is the number of, you know, high vibes. 80, if you check the documentary 7, you know, it goes into, that's the documentary before the Night of the Black Tiger. You know, you should get a copy of the Night of the Black Tiger. And we go into that 80 vibes, and the number 8, and the 80 being the R, and the 80 for the Muhammad, and 80 for the Lord Pakal. Lord Pakal lived to be 80 years in you know, in that science of the cycle then. So the heights I'm saying is that when you understand that level there, 80 years. Now we know he come in 1914, so anyway you turn it, it would have been 80 years. But if he came or was born on the 31st of May, that means it would have been exactly 80 years. That, man, that's a home run there, man. That's a serious meditation. Remember, that's the man that when they I wouldn't say go up in the whirlwind, but the whirlwind was very present when they were putting down the physical in the hole. You know that the whirlwind, all man except one man I ever hear say that they were there and didn't see that. You understand? And that man, I interviewed him right on here, and he explained, well, he didn't see that part there, you know. So, but what I'm saying, family, from the year before, he already sent out, and all the man in Africa do, you know. He want man to come to the headquarters because he's looking to make a move. It's African science we're dealing with it. When one's got to get the items, people who deal with, because Jamaica, we talking about it. People that deal with African science, Jamaica, we talking about it. So when the woman hear what they want, she know that somebody else on the other side dealing with African science too, because they know what to ask for. Remember, King Emmanuel is a science man, you know? You don't have to ask about that and the depths of the man, you know? The man heal people, and come on, I don't want to go into the depths. I want to go in, you know, but you know what I mean when I say that. It's so much. It's so much. The science of the man, you know what I mean? You know, how he move and how he go through the earth. So those who would have known of him and know him would have respected him and understood that he is a man that understands, again, the African science, just like Marcus Garvey. How you think man can slap Marcus Garvey in the hand stick? How you think Marcus Garvey can say, oh, this place not gonna be a prison no more, it shall be a car park and something goes on? How you think Marcus Garvey can tell people, you see you gonna live in that toilet forever until you're dead, and they're still there in the toilet up to now. So that's why when he tell you, Marcus Garvey, look for him in the whirlwind, and when he died, how he coming back, because he's an African science man. I tell you, the moment they throw the first dust in the hole, this is King Emmanuel we're talking about. A whirlwind just appear. All people, all man on the altars have to hide their face. Camera that was filming the thing went blank. That's the truth. That's reality. In science, that here, a gunshot they do it in the distance. Same time. Same time. Gun salute go after that there. Yeah, man, it's African science man going on there talking about the Black Christ. Who Emmanuel Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Double barrel, eh? Double barrel. Yeah, man, I take a next job. Them people, yeah. So what I'm saying now, hear this, family. I'm not trying to convince nobody here. Eh? Like I'm trying to convince the King Emmanuel is Christ. I'm trying to convince you anything. I'm not in the mood for them vibes there at all. I'm just showing you what happened. We did a program there, King Emmanuel and Psalm 77. If you would have listened to that one, when we went through Psalm 77 and we showed you, how it's structured, how the first is 20 verses and how the first half of it, the first 10 verses is, about how the psalmist is crying out to the Lord as if the Lord has gone away. Where has he gone? Is his mercy not there anymore? And the whole works. But then at the center of the psalm, the 10th verse, he said, listen, this is my infirmity. You check it? I will remember, but I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. That's terrible. That's King Emmanuel. So he said, listen, you know what's going to happen? I just have to remember the years of King Emmanuel. I shall speak of his wondrous works. I shall speak of his glories. I shall speak of all the marvelous things that the Lord has done. That's Psalm 77. That's what you see us come here and do. We speak of the glory of the Lord. We speak of all his marvelous works. We speak of his triumphs. So man might say, oh, you have to talk about Rastafari and something, and Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie. Oh my, I hear that already. Well, you may hear me talk of it already, but I always bring it in a different way. And I'm not gonna stop talking about when the king go and approach the legal nations. Why should I stop talking about that? That needs to be spoken about much, much more. So you speak of the glory. Hear what Psalm 77 says. Thy way, O Lord, is in the sanctuary. That means his way is in the tabernacle. You want to know him? Meet him in the tabernacle, meet him in the service, meet him in the Sabbath, morning and evening and rising, being yada. Meet him in the tabernacle. Your ways are in the sanctuary. You understand? So that Psalm 77, as I said, from those who have reasoned with, is one of the morning psalms that went up. The same morning, the 70s, the same morning, of the 31st of May, 1994. Let me just show you something quick. Now, the book of Revelations, right? For those who may not know, the book of Revelations speaks of the woman. Revelation chapter 12 says that there's a woman in heaven, and this woman is clothed with the sun, and the moon is under her feet. And it says upon her head is a crown of 12 stars, and she was there in travail, ready to be, to deliver a man-child as soon as it was born. But there was a dragon that stood in front of her. And this dragon, a red dragon, the dragon had already, taken away 1/3 of the stars of heavens with its tail. And it was ready to devour the man-child. But the Lord, rose up and slew the dragon, and everything was blessed. But what I'm showing you, family, is that, and I must highlight here we have a course entitled The Cosmic Code. It's just an 8-hour course, family, not too long, 8 hours, just 8 hours. 4 separate videos, 8 hours. From beginning to end, we give you clear understanding of how to utilize the heavens and compare it to theology. We show you exactly how theology and astronomy align with each other. So here we have now, this is the woman. This is how they draw her, but still, this is the woman in heaven. And although it looks like she's standing up, in reality, she's really laying down on her side or on her back, really. And according to Revelation, there's a woman in the heavens clothed with the sun, and the moon is under her feet. Now, as she is a zodiac belt constellation, in the time of September, so you will find the sun in the constellation of Virgo, because that means Virgo specifically at that time is clothed with the sun. A very simple thing. We can just, show you even in its fullness thereof. This is a month. Okay, good. Now, September is what month? The 9th month? Okay, 9th month, thereabout. So when you look at Virgo, even at that time, you will notice that the sun specifically is coming into Virgo. See where the sun is? Just watch it as it goes in. All right, good. It's October, September, October. We're gone all into October. So anyway, but the point is that the sun is in Virgo. So when Revelation says that she is clothed with the sun, and the moon is under her feet. Look at the moon here. You see the moon here? If you notice, at a specific time, the moon is under her feet. And you must understand that the moon has a way of going up and down. So there are times when the moon is actually under her feet. You see, what John the Divine is speaking of in Revelation 12 is actually an astronomical message. I really need you to get this, good family. John the Divine is giving you a message, yes, but he's giving you the astronomical clues. There is a woman in the heavens. That's where he said he looked in, and he saw a wonder in heaven, a woman clothed in the sun. All right, where is heaven? Up in the sky. That's it. That's where heaven, and hell below the earth. So if heaven up in the sky, let's look up in the sky, because a lot of us believe God coming out of the sky. Yeah, you're right. If you look up in the sky, you see God. That's the first book. The heavens, the stars and the planets and their movements. Yeah. We believe that Christ coming out of the sky, but we're not looking up in the sky and reading the sky. But look at here. So John the Divine says she was clothed with the sun. That's her here. And at a specific time, she will be clothed with the sun. And the moon is under her feet. Now you see, follow me good. In the same way that you see they can track hurricanes and tell you where they think it's going to go. The same way that they can predict the weather and when it's going to rain, although most of the time, they're wrong. I'm just showing you, it's the same way that we can map the heavens, and we know at this time, the sun will be inside of the Virgin constellation, and the moon will be under her feet at the same time, and the moon will be full, or whatever the case is, depending on the movements of the year, because it got to be a balance. Things that they would put together to see, well, listen, a certain person will be born at this time, or a certain individual will come to power, or someone of prominence will rule the country, all sorts of things, Mercury and Mars, and where this planet will be and that planet, because I'm just showing you that what John the Divine is saying, he's just giving you an idea of how to map the heavens so you know when the Christ child will be born. That's why some people would tell you that Christ was born in September. If you go and investigate that, they have people that tell you that Christ was born in September. You understand? And September is the month of Virgo. All right, but hear what I'm saying. Good. She is clothed with the sun. The moon is under her feet. What does the Revelation say? The Revelation says she was giving birth to a man-child. who was to rule all nations. So if you notice, the constellation after her is the scales. Because what is happening here, you know, we're following the pathway of the sun. It's not me just picking out a constellation and trying to make up some story to fool people off, you know, because that's what people be saying, boy, you just make up your own thing there. I didn't make up nothing, Rasta. I'm watching the movements of the sun. The sun is going through these constellations. Some say 12, but as you could see, the 13 constellation there in the midst of them is the serpent holder. So anyway, the sun moves from the Virgin and goes into the scale. The scale is symbolic of of the balance ruler. The balance ruler. You know, that's why you see Ma'at with the scale, you see Anpu Anubis with the scale, you see Michael the archangel with the scale and his sword, because the scale is symbolic of the balanced ruler. This woman here, Virgo, the woman that was clothed with the sun and had the moon under her feet, she was supposed to give birth to what? A ruler. That's what Revelation says. She was supposed to give birth to the ruler who was to rule with the rod of iron. But what was the problem? What stopped him from ruling? Well, not really stop him, you know, but something tried. There was a great dragon. See the dragon here, the scorpion, that stood, Scorpio, that stood in front of the scale. And you may say, but it's a scorpion, not a dragon. No, listen, listen, listen. That's the drawing of a scorpion. If we take the drawing out, you could clearly see, look at the animal here now. It almost looks like a serpent. And it's all down to interpretation, because the dragon is a serpent. The dragon is like the flying serpent, you know. That's why it's a reptile with wings, you know, flying serpent, the same flying serpent like the Quetzalcoatl and all of that. So you could see this is not, maybe not a flying one, but it's a serpent. And you could see its mouth wide open. The way that they may have it here is not so. It's supposed to look like the jaws here, ready to chew up the scale, which the scale really, again, is the balanced ruler. The scale specifically is the individual that came out of the Virgin. Again, Revelation says the woman in the heavens, clothed with the sun, astronomy, moon under her feet, astronomy, giving birth to a man-child that was to rule all nations. But there was a dragon in front of the man-child ready to rule all nations. And you have the scorpion, the Scorpio, the dragon in front of the scale that is ready, the balanced ruler. You see it straight up. All right. But then when you see behind now, again, we're watching the sun as the sun moves through. When you look behind now of the Scorpio, you see the constellation known as Sagittarius. The Sagittarius here, also known as the Archer. And Sagittarius, the Archer specifically now, is prepared now to damage the Scorpion constellation or Scorpio. Scorpio specifically ready to eat up the scale, but look, the Sagittarius, which is arrow, although this is not the real rendition, this is their rendition, but it's really a man with its arrow, I'm telling you straight up, pointing at this constellation, ready to just slew it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and although they make it a man, half man, half horse, it's supposed to be a full man. It's not no half man, half horse. Capricorn now is the horse, because Capricorn is not really a goat. This thing they have here, like this half fish, half goat, with his head turned back to front, that is not it. That's just the Greek or Roman drawing. But when you study the constellation properly, Capricorn is like a unicorn with its long horn just stretching out into the heavens. You know, and the reason why I'm highlighting the unicorn with the archer is because Revelation chapter 6 says that when the first seal was opened, we were talking about the seals the other evening. When the first seal was opened, one came on a white horse, and the man on the white horse was given a crown. See the crown here? Let me put the Greek or Roman stuff up so you see it. That's the crown. You have a southern crown, and you have a northern crown. Where's the northern crown? See the northern crown up here? You actually have two crowns in the heavens. The heavens declare the glory of God. Just keep that in mind. That's very important. All what I'm showing you here is God's work. Yes. So you have a southern crown, which is just in front of the archer. So that's his crown. And you have a northern crown, which is just in front of Hercules. That's his crown. So these two crowns belong to two people who are actually working together. I will show you how they're working together. But before we do that, I'm showing you now that the archer, according to Revelation chapter 6, the Christ figure came on a white horse and he was given a crown. Some people try to say Revelation, the first horseman is the Antichrist. I disagree with that. If you think so, you could, explain in the comment, whatever, no problem at all. We always open to that. But what I'm saying now, the Revelation says one came on a white horse, and this one on the white horse was given a crown. See the crown here, and he was given a bow. See the bow here, the bow and the arrows. See the horse, Capricorn, the crown, and the bow. So what I'm showing you, family, is that the Revelations, the book of Revelations, is just like a interpretation of what is taking place in the heavens. In fact, all the Bible, that's why it's a solar book. Holy really means solar, holy like helio. Helio is sun. Solar, sun, solar, sol and Ra. Solar is sol and Ra, Amin Ra is Solomon, Amin Ra Amun, the sun, Solomon. It's a deep vibes. This is deep vibes. But the point is now that when you understand this and you put it together, Revelation is really the heavens. What I'm just describing here is the movements of the heavens put into scroll form then, into ink and paper then. Let's put it that way, because the first book is the heavens, not the Bible. The first book is the heavens. That's why the heavens declare the glory. So when you can read in the heavens, you're a few steps ahead, straight up. So what is happening here now? The heavens is showing us. And it's the 10th of December we're talking about, But obviously this would help you to understand the main points I'm getting to. That's why I didn't want to stay too long on the story part of it and what happened on that day and who did this and who eat what. And no, I didn't really want to go into them kind of things some other time. And we get the right guests to sit with us some other time. Plus, again, we have touched a lot of that already. Just go back in the archives. I know we like fresh things, but a lot of things have been covered before. Yeah, good. So watch this now. So you see the movements. You understand the story form. You see everything taking place. You see, now watch this. Let me show you this before we break that up. Since I mentioned the three crowns. Listen, family. You see the archer is the one that has the arrow pointed to the scorpion. You see the scorpion here. But the scorpion, because the scorpion is trying to eat up the scale. Remember, the scale is the balance ruler that came out of the Virgin. You see everything here. Good. Now, the serpent holder is the one that is standing on the scorpion so that it doesn't move. That's really what's happening. Let's take the Greco-Roman thing out of the way. You see, and even the way that they hide the lines that they put to assist. Some of these lines are not the right astronomical lines too. So they distort the image. And remember the serpent holder, as we say, that represents King Emmanuel. In general, the serpent holder is a man with a robe and a turban. Interestingly, the first time I started to read upon the stars, that's the information I came across. I didn't make it up. Man, I didn't even start to wear my robes like that when I found that out. I'm just trying to show you. So it's not like if I trying to attach that to it. They say the ancients saw the serpent holder as a man with a long robe and a turban. That's what the books say. And it's obvious when you know it. That's what the books say. The Arcturus was described as a next man with a turban with a pipe, and he's considered the first constellation. It's only nowadays they change these things up. I give thanks for the original teachings that I got. Yeah, man, praise Rastafari. So the serpent holder, and I'm backing off of it, is a man with a robe and a turban. Yeah, that's why the triangle, any one of the constellations, you see with the triangle stuff on his head, is the turban, Good. Now, when you understand, and to be fair, right? Let me show you this level, just in fairness. A lot of the names given to these constellations, and even I would say the identification, or what ones would believe is their identification, came from Arab scientists and Arab astronomers. So you check a lot of these names, Al-Katin and so them is Arab names. You understand, to some degree. And I know the Arabic may have been more African in origin, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Arab people. You understand? So saying that a man have a robe and a turban, it's not hard to believe that it was interpreted as that. Because them fellas wear a lot of robe and turban. But the reality is, it looks so. It does. So I'm just showing you a balanced look at it there. So at least you can chew on that part. Because I know those who would like to doubt it would say, yeah, exactly. It's because it's Arab people name it. So they're going to like to see it in a robe and turban. All right. Okay. All right. No problem. How come we don't have a camel? We have any camel constellations? I was going to put a camel up there. So, a peacock. Right. No, right. Exactly. So watch it now. So the serpent holder, look at it good. The serpent holder is standing on the serpent, and at the same time, he is standing on the scorpion, pardon me, which is a serpent. The dragon, a serpent, and he's holding a snake. Now he's holding the snake for Hercules. Even this Hercules, they have this thing well twist up, this upside down man with all his snake wrap around him. No, the real way the constellation looks is like a man. We have the real picture for it. A man kneeling on his knee with a sword ready to chop off the neck of the serpent here. Just like the archer down here is ready to slew the serpent here. So this man in the middle, the man with the robe and turban, this is just reality. He is standing on the serpent for the archer, the same man with the crown in the south that came on the white horse and was given a bow and an arrow in Revelation 6. That's the Christ man. Eh? Yeah. So this serpent holder standing on the scorpion for that man there, and holding the snake for the man in the north. Both of them man have crowns, and both of them have weapons, a sword and the bow and the arrow. But the man in the mirror, in the middle, even the man in the mirror, the man in the middle, that's interesting though. Wow. But anyway, the man in the middle didn't have no weapons. The man in the middle was holding deadly, venomous animals. The serpent he holding them, and standing on the scorpion, just waiting for the king and the prophet to slew them. You never see Marcus Garvey with his sword, the man that went to the North America, man. That's why Hercules is in the northern hemisphere. Hercules is not an ecliptic belt constellation, but Hercules has the northern crown. The Archer is an ecliptic belt constellation and has the southern crown. You have to check them science deep. So the sun doesn't necessarily go through the Hercules, but the sun definitely goes through, Sagittarius, you understand? And the sun specifically touches and goes through the serpent holder, who doesn't have a crown, but definitely is in the path of the sun. Mathematics, that's how you work these things out. So listen, this is Haile Selassie, the archer, King Emmanuel, the serpent holder, Marcus Garvey, they call it the Hercules, the 3-in-1. As you can see, the three of them, I don't care what nobody say. Nobody who just hear somebody say this and want to repeat it. Oh, so we're the woman. And nothing, I would never even entertain that. Not at this stage. You see what I showing you? In our religion, I showing you. Which book you're quoting from with that stuff you're talking about? Name the book. Name the book. Well, the Egyptian, be careful, take your time. Which book you're quoting from? Well, the Parahema. Hold on, don't talk too fast enough. I want to spare you. Which book you talking about? Isis, Horus, and Osiris. So about Osiris, Sokar, and Ptah. from Abydos. Ask one of my brethren that showed me that name. Baba Heru Samaj, our elder from the shrine of Ptah. Baba Heru, the elder I talking to, is he sit me down and teach me that concept there. Osiris, well, of course, I investigated and see that they exist. The god Osiris, Ptah, and Sokar. That's schematic. That's three figures there, three male figures that are considered a trinity. But you see, we caught up in religion, so we want to fight which one right and which one wrong. Man, is science I'm into it. So as you can see, look at here in the heavens, the three man figure working together, God figure to slew the beast. And is the man in the middle that is holding the beast, the man with the robe and the turban, straight up, the serpent holder. Now, if you want to interpret it some other way, well, you're free, I guess, but you can't deny what the heavens is clearly showing us. Yeah, good. Look at the Kephas, another man with another turban. You want to hear our brethren talk about Kephas? What's the elder's name there? Dr. Charles Finch. All right. Now, let us get to Orion. Let me show you this now. Now, Orion, or Sahu, if you notice, Orion is a male, but above Orion, or Sahu, is Gemini, the twins. Now, in the Greek rendition, they have Gemini like two little boys. And I agree, you know, man, don't get me wrong. The wicked definitely do their best to take the woman out of the God concept. Yeah, but we ain't gotta get fanatic and lose it. All of a sudden, God is a woman. I agree. But don't forget, God is a man too. Don't go overboard now. And Africa was matriarchal or matriarchic. What was the right term? No, I think it's more matriarch. But okay, Africa was a matriarch society. No, don't get me wrong, you know, maybe there have been pockets of literal matriarch societies in the African concept, but we're both matriarch and patriarch. We balance things out. You know. We balance things out. This is not male chauvinism and all of these kind of different things. You understand? Some of them say matriarch society people, some woman stepping up, you know, oh, well, in Africa, we were matriarch. Them say matriarch society, you know, even if you think that's what it is. Yes, the lineage came through the woman, and the woman is who picked the king. Yeah, but how much wife the king have? No, in them say matriarch society, the king will have 3, 4 wives. You know what I mean? And the woman, but it's a matriarch society. But some people don't study it that deep, you know. I ain't saying something is wrong as if it's an abuse society by saying that, you know. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just showing you that a lot of ones who push in the matriarch talk, you know, it's a bit of feminism hidden under it. But study properly, man. It's balance. It's not no one thing. It's balance. It's both matriarchal and patriarchal, whatever the right term is. It's well balanced. We are a balanced society. So I'm saying all of that to say that here you have the Trinity in the heavens of many things I'm doing here, of the father, the mother. This is the mother here with the hips. See, she have the hips, the child bearer, Pollux, which is really Tefnut, and Castor, which is really Shu and Tefnut. And they gave birth to Sahu. Look at here, they're the fathers really of the Orion in reality, in this setting here, also known as Hu and Sa. In another tradition, thing that's coming out of Suma and giving birth to the shepherd of Anu. You understand? Look at it all here, family. So you have father, mother, and child. That's my point. But and these, if you notice, this constellation here is on the exact opposite. I want you to follow me good. The Trinity with the male, female, and male, father, mother, and child, is on the exact opposite of the heavens of the Trinity with the prophet, priest, and king, the serpent holder, Sagittarius, and Hercules. Now that is it. Them is the levels we're talking about. Oh, how you know that? Let me how I know that. It's something else. Yeah. So in other words, when Orion is rising, the serpent hole is setting. If you can look up in the sky at midday and you see the serpent hole, that means when it's midnight the same day and you look up, you will see Orion or Sahu, because they are on the exact opposite side of the heavens. Follow me good, eh? Okay. So in that sense now, you know, when you look at it, this is why we're talking about now the 10th of December. I'm bringing it home. We're talking about the 10th of December. And the 10th of December is actually, again, the rising of the constellation, specifically of Orion. So I'm putting that now to the time now, right now. Okay, as you can see now, you see the sun setting in. This is being recorded just before the Sabbath. So it's just a, you know, maybe less than an hour before the Sabbath, but because the sun is setting now, in a sense, a bit early. So you see the serpent holder right now. The serpent holder is, if you want to use the term, sinking in the west. Look at here. Now, what I'm saying, family, let's just say at that time, we were astronomically sound and we were reading the heavens. We would have been able to understand that something mystic is taking place. Let me show you. The Honorable King Emmanuel says that he having a feast and he calling wants to come, you know, because he looking to make a move. Good. And he pick a date for this feast. This is Prince Emmanuel, you know, it can't be by chance. He picked the 10th of December. What's interesting is that this feast, the Make a Move feast, really led into him really making a move that nobody expected him to make, just a few months after the feast. So he dropped the feast and prepared himself, and then he gone. Just like he said, come and check me, because I'm going to make a move. Now, if we understood astronomy and we were following it, we would know, first of all, that Prince Emmanuel is the serpent holder. Remember, it's after the fact we figuring these things out. You know? Okay. I don't think there was anybody at the time, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anybody at the time in the camp that knew that this constellation of the serpent holder and all what I just explained, even maybe, you know, exists. All right, I'm just showing you. But just suppose we were up to speed like that then, and we noticed that the day that the Father called for this feast, it's not just the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights Day, you know, it is also the day, not just the day when Orion is rising. What does Orion rising mean? It means when the sun is setting, Orion going to be busting out to the earth, rising to glory. Okay, good. But for Orion to rise, the rising of Orion is the setting of the serpent holder. Because remember, the both of them, they're on total opposite side of the heavens, you know? And it's really a story that the heavens is teaching us. These characters is just like an allegory, celestial allegory. That's a nice name for a book, celestial allegory. Wow. So the celestial allegory now is showing you that the heavens, when you understand what is happening now, exactly 180 degrees, because the heavens represent that 360. So it's exactly 180 degrees from each. That is what on one side and the other side. So what you happen again is that at the rising of the Orion, you have the setting going down of the serpent holder. It can't fail. Nothing can change that. It's impossible for you to, you know, put that in any other form or fashion. So this is what I'm saying. When the Orion constellation or the Sahu now is coming up, is the same time that the serpent hole is going down. But the serpent hole is going down on the 10th of December with the sun, because the sun is not always in the serpent hole here. Remember, you just saw the sun moving. The eclipse, again, the eclipse that took place 7 days ago, the eclipse took place in the serpent hole. Don't mind what the astrologers said. We did a program for those of you who may have missed it, where we showed you the report that even astronomy highlighted that the eclipse was taking place at the left leg of Ophiuchus, which is the serpent hole constellation. And that's astronomy. I was so happy to see that report. You know, astrology was saying that it was, I think, in the constellation of Libra or something. So way off. Old charts, tarot cards they're using. I mean, we covered this over and over again. So we're dealing with astronomy now. So after the 10th of December, 15th, gone into the 20th, the sun is not going to be in the serpent hole again until next year. So the sun is at the right leg of the serpent hole every 10th of December, at least in this age. So in other words, again, when Orion is rising, the sun is setting. But the sun is in a specific constellation while it's setting. It's the serpent hole. So if we were in tune astronomically and we knew how the heavens declare the glory of God, and we realized that he did say he making a move, and the feast that he called for the move that he making was on the day when the serpent holder was setting. So all when the feast going on, you know, yes, Orion rising, but the serpent holder was setting. Yes, astronomy talk about the rising of Orion, but remember, astronomy don't even really take note of the serpent hole until the other day. Somebody have to whistle blow on them, eh? Yeah. So now that they realize that there is a 13th zodiac constellation and not 12, you understand the balance? We're seeing you now. We're explaining that, yeah, the 10th of December is the setting of the serpent hole. Just like the 10th of December was the feast for the serpent holder, for the Black Christ, who he said himself, he gonna make a move. And the move was made. Keep in mind that this year, 10th of December, is a very special one. If you notice, it fall on a Friday again. It's 28 years since the initial feast of the Passover was called. And 28 is a solar return, because the sun has a solar cycle of 28 years. Just like the moon plays with a lunar cycle of 28 days, the sun has that dynamic solar cycle of 28 years, which is seen in calendars like how they set up the Julian calendar and even the Gregorian calendar. But I'm talking about solar mathematics and mechanics, though, as how the sun replenish itself every 28 years. So this is a solar return on that. And that is why it was mystic that the eclipse took place in the same serpent hole 7 days before the 28th anniversary of the 10th of December, when he said he gonna make a move. Follow me, good family. It's a lot, you know, but it's easy to understand. It is easy to comprehend. So in other words now, don't worry, because although it is the setting of the serpent holder, and the serpent holder don't tell you he's setting, the heavens done showing you, yes, he's going down with the sun. He's setting, he is setting, he's going down. But while he's going down, he's still coming up. Because while the serpent hole is setting, you see, look, Orion busting out the earth like a man put his hand out of the dirt. While the serpent hole are going under the earth, people crying and bawling, what happened in here? Because it's a new day. Look, the Orion or the Sahu is rising. And I really see that, you know, I really see that as, just as we always say, that the Spirit of the Most High dwell in us. We always say that. That when you're looking for the Christ, you look within ourselves. When you're looking for the God figure, look within yourself. Because this is what this is all about, you know. As I said, even when you observe the heavens, and if you don't take nothing away, take this away. What you observe in the heavens, even what I show you, because it's real. This is where we get the ability to write the Medu Neter, the hieroglyphs. So Osiris or Asa is the same Orion or Sahu, the same Heru story. All of these stories and allegories and esoteric writings came from the heavens, came from the sky, the movements of the heavens. From kindergarten level, you know what I call kindergarten level? The sunrise and the sunset, the sun disappear, the sun come in the clouds of heaven, the Son of God, that's kindergarten. So the Son of God now in the Bible come in the clouds of the heaven, and he come with a crown on his head. And when he come, all eyes shall behold him, and he's the light of the world. No, let's just be honest. Doesn't that equate to the sun in the sky? You understand? So that is now magnified and put into story form, in allegorical form. And then all of a sudden, Noah built a boat and the whole world flood out and you get to every animal. You know, there's a rich meaning behind the story, you know. But if you're going to take it like how they give it to you, nah, man, it's madness, that, man. That's like a nursery rhyme, like an old lady that live in a shoe and she had so many children. She did. That's how it sounds. A man built a boat, you know what I mean? And you get two of every animal from all over the world. I mean, come on, let's get serious. And then the rain start to come. And then if you read the story still, you don't know the story have a lot of different aspects. You know, one part of the book speaks about the flood, the flood, the boat itself. The height of the boat was like about the same height as the flood. It's right in the Bible. We've covered this. So you see now what this not making any sense, because it's allegorical, it's esoterical, it's symbolic. And a lot of these stories were taken from the movements of the heavens. I just read it to you in John the Baptist, John the Divine, in Revelation. He said he looked up in the heavens and he saw the woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. You know, so somebody might draw a woman and put the sun around her and she walking on the moon. It looked nice. It looked good, because remember the Orisha god Oshun was on the moon too. So Virgo represent Oshun. Listen, the thing deep, you know. That's why I love African science. That's why I love African religion, you know. And we're not separating the Dogon from the Bozos. We're not separating the Bozos from the Banbara. We're not separating them from what them other people name, from people in Kemet. And no, if you study all the traditions, that's why the Dogon god, what the Dogon god name again? Amma. And then you have Amun. It's the same thing. The egg, it's the same thing. But that's how we express ourselves in Africa. Different language, different form, but it's one tradition, one ancestral tradition. Is Europe have us thinking like, oh, for my son right down for your son around? No, we not into them kind of things. That's a linear way of thinking, you know, so we definitely have to get a bit broader than that. So basically, you see the signs I'm showing your family, while the serpent holder is setting. The spirit of Orion or Sahu is rising. So like Psalm 77, the man bawling, he want to know where the God gone. Don't worry about that. The God in you now. The Emmanuel dwell in you now. You know, the power of the Christ is in you now. Is you have to activate it. How am I going to do that? Just do what he been telling you to do. Look what the Psalm say. The sanctuary. His ways are in the sanctuary. So visit the sanctuary and plug in so you could activate, you know, the energy of the Black Christ. So 28th, man, 28th anniversary in the cycle of the 10th of December. Give thanks to the rising of Sahu, you know, give thanks to the Sabbath coming in at the same time, and give thanks to the balance of life, you know. And of course, you know, I'm going to encourage ones to log in to the Honorable Prophet Daniel African Liberation Network Sunday, although I do not know the topic, but the Sunday reasoning with the elders and those who would have tried with the Black Christ is always spicy and nice. And I would believe, although I never really get a chance to get it live, because of different run-ins, but I somehow believe that they would be touching upon the 10th of December. You know, if not, I'm sure the king would have heard that word and would have maybe find some way to shuffle it in. But yeah, that would be nice, you know, to get a good clearance even from the elders there, those who were there, you know, those who were there. Yeah, those who were there, if we could get them to express what they would have seen and firsthand, because that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm sure it would add joy and a lot of richness to our souls, you know. So give thanks again for the Sabbath order. Give thanks to the Sabbath day and the blessing thereof. I can only, you know, encourage you for sure to listen to Radio Anu throughout the Sabbath day, depending on the vibration. And of course, we'll be just, you know, giving you pure Sabbath sounds going through, of course, from 6 to 6, Radio Anu, and you know how to get there. All the links is in the description below. Of course, talking about Priest Isaac Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Remember the night of the Black Tiger, yo. Remember, this is the 10th of December, so that whole vibes is somewhat coming to an end. And I'm just reminding you as well to join me on the Tiger's Nest every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. Hey, listen, there's so many things. Hey, don't forget to link us to get your e-tickets for the 3 mighty online lectures over the Hogmas season. You know, Fairy Tale, Folly Days, and Nursery Crimes, the Firing Squad Edition, and the Santa Claus Massacre, Total Annihilation, and then, of course, Haile Selassie, Rastafari, and Freemasonry. Enough man love hear that title, you know, but it's the business. You can stay ignorant all you want. So, yeah, family, give thanks to the love, you know, give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. I fully appreciate all those who come and sit and sup with me, especially to the very end. Believe me, all of those, you know, to be honest, I could feel the love from many ones, you know, whether I know you or know you not. So I'm going to let you know. We appreciate that tremendously on this end. And yeah, man, it's the work of our eye we're doing, and that's what we live for. You know what I mean? We didn't live for nothing else. So give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. Long time when they say that one. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks to the Sabbath, man.